Yes. So in this introduction to vector, we'll take vector as a directed line segment, although you have done it before, but some common confusion there. Some of you might have given the arrow at this is the tail of the vector, this is the tip of the vector, and there is no compulsion of putting the arrow at the end. This is a common misconception. Arrow I can put anywhere. Just the starting point and finishing point will be mentioned. This is the starting point, which is called origin, and this is the tip, tail and tip. Vector is directed from O to A. One can say that this OA vector is equal to P vector. Somebody says AO vector. AO vector will be directed from A to O. This is minus P vector. Okay. Vector may be parallel. Okay, they have the same direction. And in vector, parallelism and collinearity has no difference. Why? Because for non-localized vectors, first let me explain what are localized vectors and localized vector means they will pass through a fixed point. But non-localized vector means here is a point, vector must pass through it. And you know a vector has both magnitude and direction. So you cannot suddenly change the direction or suddenly change the place of the vector. But for non-localized vector, vectors, this is a vector. I can take the vector in any position parallel to it. It means here a vector can be slid parallel to itself. Suppose there is origin, we can take the vector, we can take the starting point of the vector at the origin only. In case of non-localized vector, it is true. Okay. So here, when you are saying two vectors A and B are parallel to each other, it means two vectors A and B parallel to each other, it means the vector A and B may be collinear. Okay, there is no difference between parallelism and collinearity in vector. Two vectors have the same direction, they are like vectors, they are parallel vectors, they can be referred as collinear vector also, because the vector A can be taken on the vector B. Okay. Now, vectors may be of different type. There may be co-initial vector. Vector may start from the same point. These two vectors starting from the same point, they have the same origin, they are co-initial vectors. This you all know. Parallel vectors, co-initial vectors, collinear vectors, then there are coplanar vectors. There is a two-dimensional plane, say our xy plane is there. We draw vectors here. They may be in any direction, but they lie on the same plane. They are supposed to be, they are assumed to be coplanar vectors because they lie on the same plane, on the xy plane. Okay. And vector has representation like this. Okay, before that, let me tell you, let me remind you better to say that unit vector and the magnitude of a vector. What is magnitude of a vector? Magnitude or modulus of a vector. That is the length of the vector. Vector is a directed line segment. So if there is a vector, its magnitude we write OA mod OA equal to mod A. Okay. This is equal to length of length of vector A, that is straight line distance between O and A. So if we write a vector A is there, we can define its scalar multiplication. What is scalar multiplication? If we want to take 3A vector, it will have same direction as that of the vector A, and its magnitude is 3 times that of vector A. If we take magnitude of the vector, suppose mod A is equal to 4 units, then 3A will have what magnitude? Mod of 3A, we'll write 3 into mod A. This is nothing but 12 units. Okay. So modulus scalar multiplication of vector is possible. If you multiply a vector by a scalar, then the magnitude will be that time of the magnitude of the original vector. If the vector A has magnitude m, then m into A has magnitude that m times the magnitude of the vector A. Okay, let me draw that this has 4 units. 4 units this manner, say 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So this one must be of 12 unit that we have taken. Now tell me a vector A by 2. This has magnitude how much? Half of that, that is 2 units. If we take the vector A by 4, this has magnitude 1 unit. This is the unit vector in our problem. So in the direction of the vector A, we can write A cap or A hat along the direction of the vector as A by mod A. This is unit vector. What is the use of unit vector? Use of unit vector is that if you want to represent any vector in the direction of given vector, we will multiply it by unit vector. So this vector B may be equal to m times A cap. It means B is a vector along the direction of A whose magnitude is m times the magnitude of the vector A. What we did there, we found the unit vector first, then magnified it m times. All this we have done, just recapitulation. If unit vector in one direction is known, we can write any vector in that direction just multiplying the unit vector by the scalar associated with the vector which you are going to draw. Then addition of two vectors, in mathematics only one addition rule is there. And even formula also not required. This formula is so powerful here. We need not learn any parallelogram law, any polygon rule, just triangle law. Addition of two vectors. That is done by triangle law. All of you know, if vector A is taken this manner, vector B is taken this manner, then AC will represent the sum of the two vectors. And I'll remain silent about its magnitude even if I know the angle, all those things. Here it is not required. Just know if this is triangle law, this in magnitude and direction will represent the sum of the two vectors. Okay. And you know, this can be changed to parallelogram law also. That also I am not going to discuss. We will know only triangle law here. Then based on this, you did the representation of a vector in 2D. If there is a vector OA you want to represent in 2D, OA is the vector. If I want to represent in 2D, through this I'll take x-axis, two mutually perpendicular axes are to be taken, that is x-axis and the y-axis, And as soon as these two axes are drawn, the point A, the tip of the vector, has some coordinate. If this is xy, unit vector in this direction is taken as I cap, in this direction is taken as j cap, then this part is going to be x, this part is y, you know. But in terms of vector, OL vector will be x into I cap, LA vector going to be y into j cap. So by triangle law, OA going to be equal to OL plus LA. This is nothing but x into I cap, y into j cap, and mod OA. You found it earlier. This is mod of xi plus yj. This is nothing but x square plus y square. So in terms of I and j, if you want to write unit vector along this vector OA, unit vector along OA going to be what? That is, we can write this one as r cap. This is r by mod r. This is xi plus yj by root over x square plus y square. So if a question arises here, write a vector, just a question you take, write a vector of magnitude 8 units along vector of magnitude 8 unit along the vector 3i plus 4j. Okay, your answer will be like this. Required vector will be 3i plus 4j by 3 square plus 4 square into 10. That is 10 by 5 into 3i plus 4j. Okay, that is 2 into 3i plus 4j. Okay. Now in 3D, how do you represent a vector? This is also topic which we are going to revise. We'll take a vector in three-dimensional coordinate system. That I'll assume that can be fitted here, can fit it here. So this is your vector R. This point has coordinate x, y, z. You know the meaning. This length, this is along x-axis. This point has coordinate x, 0, 0. Okay. This point, this is your y-axis you have fixed up. And this one z-axis. Coordinate of a point in this plane will be of this form x, 0, z. And here it will be x, y, 0 like this. Okay. So in this diagram, if you want to represent the vector R here, then this point be L, this is M. So here OA vector going to be equal to OM plus MA. OM is how much? By triangle law again, this OM is OL plus LM plus MA. OL stands for, if unit vector you have taken along x-axis I cap, this one is j cap, and this one k cap, then OL vector will be x into I cap, y into j cap, z into k cap. Okay. So R vector is xi plus yj plus zk in 3D, and its modulus, the length of the diagonal, you did in 3D. This will be root over, by Pythagoras theorem repeated application, it will be x square plus y square plus z square. So here unit vector along the vector r will be of this form, r by mod r. This is nothing but xi yj zk divided by x square y square plus z square. Okay. So that's all about representation of a vector in 3D. This is quick revision of the part which you might have done in other branches of sciences, that in physics you did. Basically you have the basic idea. Now I'm going to explain the concept of position vector and section formula. Okay. Yeah. Concept of position vector and section formula now I'm going to discuss here. Basically your class 12 course starts from here only, where the concept of position vector is required. Position vector is simple. This idea also you might have got. Whenever we are saying there is a point, that point can have a vector representation in terms of origin of two-dimensional or three-dimensional coordinate system. Suppose there are 2 points A and B, the way it is shown in diagram. Then from O to A, if you join, this is a two-dimensional coordinate system, that from O to A, if you join, this point has position vector A. What does it mean? If position vector of A is A, it means OA vector is equal to A vector. Position vector of the point B is B, it means OB is equal to B vector. Okay. Now your problem is to find AB vector. So start this manner. Let position vectors of A and B be A and B respectively. Then OA vector, as I told you, OA vector going to be equal to A vector. And what about OB vector? OA vector is A. This is origin. Origin to A, if you join, this will be A. What about OB vector? OB vector is going to be B vector. Origin to B, if you join. What about AB vector? This is the problem we have to find. That by triangle law again, in triangle OAB, you can see OA plus AB is equal to OB vector. This happens in triangle OAB. So this implies AB vector equal to OB minus OA. Okay. So AB vector is OB minus OA. This implies that OB is position vector of B minus position vector of A. Okay. So this is your formula now. You write AB vector as position vector of B minus position vector of A. Somebody want to write PQ vector. PQ vector will be position vector of Q minus position vector of P. Okay. In terms of coordinate system, if the point A has coordinate xa, YA, ZA, and B has coordinate XB, YB, ZB. Then AB, this vector you might have studied in other subject as position, as displacement vector. Particle goes from A to B. Then what is the displacement vector? Same way you will write AB vector is position vector of B minus position vector of A. What is position vector of B? In terms of coordinate, it will be XBI, YBJ, ZBK, and position vector of A is XAI plus YBJ plus ZBK. So this is nothing but the difference between these two coordinates, XB minus XAI cap, that is YB minus YAJ cap, and sorry, this is A, this is also A. So this will be ZB minus ZA K cap. This we can refer as displacement vector also. So AB vector is position vector of B minus A, or difference of these coordinates given over there. Now I am going to state what will be the position vector of an arbitrary point on the line segment joining these 2 points. This is your point A, this one B. There is a point P which will divide the join of A and B in the ratio m is to n. What is the coordinate of this point? This we are going to find. So if this point has position vector of A, it is from the origin to this point, if you join, will get A vector. Similarly, this will be B vector. And this vector you assume R vector. Your problem is to find the position vector of the point P, which will divide in the ratio m is to n. This one has position vector of B. Now I'll make one observation here, that AP is to PB. It is given that AP is to PB is m by n. Therefore n into AP is equal to m into PB. Now initially you don't put vector sign. There is a logic while I put vector above. Suddenly NAP equal to m into PB. Now we'll put arrow above it. Why? Because they have the same direction. If I multiply by unit vector, that is valid, but they have the same direction, these 2 vectors. So I can compare these 2 vectors. They are like vectors. They are parallel vectors. They are collinear vectors. They have the same direction. So n into AP will be m into PB. AP vector is what? By definition, position vector of P minus position vector of A. This is going to be R minus A. M into PB, this is B minus R. So take R vectors on the left hand side. This is going to be MB plus NA. So R vector is going to be MB plus NA by, this is your section formula. It looks like the coordinate geometry, and by taking those points A and B as x1, y1, x2, y2, really you can show that position vector, that section formula which you have learned in 2-dimensional coordinate system in class 11, that you brought back here by using vector. Vector is more powerful than that. You can decide, you can find all the formula very quickly, which you have done in 2-dimensional coordinate system. Okay, more logical also here. So whatever, that is not our aim to prove or give explanation of those formula again. Here this formula self-explanatory, everyone can get it. If the point P is a midpoint, then also he or she can write, if P be the midpoint, if P be the midpoint, then position vector of P is going to be equal to 1 into B plus 1 into A by 1 plus 1, that is nothing but sum of these two by 2. Okay. Now let us derive a formula on centroid of a triangle by using section formula concept. Centroid of a triangle. Just draw a triangle, any triangle it is true. This point has coordinate, position vector A, this one B, this one has vector C. Then centroid is the point which will divide the median in the ratio 2:1. All of you have learned this. We are taking this as centroid. This is 2:1. So you can write the coordinate very easily, and this is the midpoint. The midpoint has coordinate, vector representation. And then another interesting thing, that all those calculations will be independent of origin. Wherever you take origin, it is independent of that. Origin may be here, origin may be outside this plane, origin may be outside this room, origin may be anywhere. Then also the formula doesn't change. When I told the position vector of the point A as A, B as B, C as C, from origin to those points, we have to imagine that those are A vector, B vector and C vector. There is no direct link between A, B, C and the length of the sides here. Okay, that link we'll find, that relation we'll find definitely. But the thing is that the concept of length of side will be following from position vector. Position vector concept following from the origin. Origin may be anywhere. All the results we are going to derive is independent of origin. So the position vector of the point M, you can write B plus C divided by 2. Now what is the coordinate of the point G? That you can find because it will divide AM in the ratio 2:1. So position vector of G going to be 2 into B plus C by 2, 1 into A by 2 plus 1, that is B plus C plus A by 3. So position vector of G, centroid has this coordinate A plus B plus C, that divided by 3. G has this position vector. Okay. And some interesting result can be derived here. Just for your practice, you can find this thing. Just find the sum of these three vectors. If position vector of three vertices of triangle are A, B, C respectively, find this GA, GB and GC. This is going to be position vector of A minus position vector of G. That is A minus, what is position vector of G? A plus B plus C by 3. This GB going to be position vector of B minus position vector of G. That is A plus B plus C by 3. Plus this is going to be C minus. Okay. So if you take these A, B, C first and then consider negative sign, 3A plus B plus C, 3 vectors are there like this. So the result going to be equal to a 0 vector. 0 vector, you need not put arrow above it, just put 0 in vector. When you compare, it is understood that this you have taken a 0 vector